the economic situation in Iran is getting horrible. Like getting so many videos outside of Iran, people showing how they're living, and it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, and the pressure is being felt, and the regime is getting ready for uprisings. The regime is very scared of uprisings. I just wanted to do a report of what's happening inside Iran because of the current economic blockade. Which again, remember, before I say any of this, remember that the Iranian people, they're blaming the Islamic Republic, right? So we're getting a lot of videos from inside Iran showing how devastating the situation is, but I haven't seen a single video that says, curse be upon America, why you're doing this to us. Not a single one. Every single one of these videos, you see people showing them what they're eating, and it's basically just oil and potatoes or bread and stuff that is like there's no diversity, there's very low nutrition. They replaced like eating meat or anything like that has become like something that people have completely canceled from their daily food intake, and they're making videos of their new condition, either standing in line. I saw a video somebody saying like, I think I've spent we'll be spending half of our lives in line for fuel. This guy is like, this is half my life, just in line for fuel. But not a single one of those videos, guys, that we're saying is blaming the Americans. Every single one of them, if there is a complaint at the end of it, is cursing the Islamic Republic. I don't know if this has happened in history before. Like, let me know if it has, right? For another country to come and put a blockade on economic blockade on you, and the people not cursing the country that is putting the economic blockade on you, but the regime that is governing over them. I think this is unprecedented. Has this ever happened? Because usually throughout history, when there is your government and there's their government, and there are war, and the people support their government against the government that is doing this to them. But the Iranian people are cursing the Islamic Republic for the current economic situation they're in, and they're not at all blaming the United States, which is really unique historically. And our situation is also unique. So as I said, to people are just record. And by the way, let me tell you how unusual this is for Iranians, because Iranians are famous for uh, I mean, alongside many other cultures in the around that area in the East, right? Is that you try to save face, right? That means that you don't. It's embarrassing to show people how bad your economic struggles. That you hide that. You don't share that, right? We have a saying in Persian saying با سیلی صورت رو سرخ نگه داشتن, which means that if your face is not red because of you're not don't have enough food or you're sick or whatever, slap yourself so you make your cheeks red so people think like you're healthy. Like you slap yourself to keep your cheeks red, for the sake of keeping appearances, right? That's a saying in Persian, right? And when I was in Iran 20 years ago, the idea of people telling each other, "Oh my God, look, I don't have food," was unheard of. That's not what that is embarrassing. You not being able to afford stuff, that is not something that you share publicly. That's something that you hide as much as possible, right? So the idea that this many Iranians are going publicly and recording their lifestyles and sharing like, look at how crappy the situation is, how bad my life is, and putting it online is a cultural shift in Iran. And I think the reason why that's becoming so normalized to show people how bad you're having it is because everybody else is in the same boat. So it's more normal to talk about it because it's happening to so many people, right? So most of the videos that are coming out is either because of the current lack of affordability, one, or two, like that shows. I mean, all of them is about lack of lower standard of living, but they most of them come in two format. Either people are showing what they're eating, or they're showing that they're stuck in lines to get gas for their car, right? So everywhere else in the world, people are on Instagram. taking pictures of their food to show people how great their food is. Look at it as, this is the popular Instagram picture. Look at my coffee. Look at my food. Look at this restaurant. In Iran, everybody's taking pictures of their food to show how bad it is, how little it is, how the lack of nutrition, like how poor they are, right? So this has become a new ritual in Iran. People taking pictures of their food to show how little they can afford, which is tragic. There's like the middle class has completely evaporated in Iran. You're either very rich or you're very poor. Um, this is a reason why I think that Operation Economic Fury or Economic Outcast is not enough, right? This is why we Amu Jeff keeps telling us about the 5x5, right? Because it is working. It is working in weakening the Islamic Republic, but it's also weakening the Iranian people. And the Iranian people are the main asset that we need to topple the regime. Even if you don't personally care about the Iranian people, if somebody doesn't care about them, the if you're not an Iranian, at the end of the day, the Islamic Republic is your enemy, and the main asset you have against your enemy, your number one enemy, is the Iranian people. And a weaker base of Iranian people is a reduction of the force that is against the regime. So this is why every time I get invited on these platforms, and I was just on Newsmax, and I said the same thing. I said that the operation economic outcast is working. It's working. It's really working. I mean, it is. We have to still see how aggressive they are going to be against China, because China has some tools, unlike other countries, to be able to push back, especially with their smaller companies. The bigger companies, the bigger refiners, the bigger banks, they don't want to piss off Americans because their business models is tied into them. But smaller refineries and smaller financial institutions, a lot of them are focused on basically focusing on taking advantage of the arbitrage with the risk associated to deal with the Islamic Republic, and that's what their profit model is. And the whole purpose of them is to go around the sanctions, right? And because the Chinese have a system that is not based on the US dollar, and also because they use a wire and transfer that is not Swift, these companies have access to more. They have much more of an ability. They have more tools in their toolbox into helping the Islamic Republic go around Operation Economic Outcast. So if anybody could do it, it would be these smaller Chinese companies. So we have to see if United States will be able to tie those to close those holes or not. But even if they are, it's just I don't think that this alone is enough to bring down the Islamic Republic. There's a concern that if we don't do the 5x5 that Amujef tells us, if we don't arm the Iranian people, if we don't go in with Israel to kill the regime people, that this looks more like a plan to bring the Islamic Republic back back to the negotiating table rather than ending the regime, right? And even if this is about the end of regime, it could take years to be stuck here if we don't do those other things that needs to be added to all of this, right? And we don't have years. I know exactly. That's why we need to do the 5x5. That's why we need to do all these other things that Amujef is talking about.
My name is Armin Navabi. I'm an Iranian political analyst with decades of experience fighting the Islamic regime inside and outside of Iran. Make sure you follow me for more, and also make sure you join our discussion group. I'm there almost every single day. Come talk to me there and the rest of the people there in our group calls. It's a great place to meet and talk to people who like talking about politics. The link is in the description and or in the bio. You could also get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. See you there.